Hello, everyone. Happy Friday afternoon. Welcome to Bounding into Comics. My name is Associate Editor Spencer Baculi. I am joined by our co-host, co-author, staff writer, Don Edmonds. How you doing, Don?
Wonderful. I'm in an undisclosed location. I'm not giving away my location. I'm not doxing myself. Thank you very much.
As you all might have seen on Twitter, Don is definitely incognito mode right now. But we are here today to watch the brand new trailer, the first trailer for The Suicide Squad from James Gunn. So I haven't watched it yet. I know Don hasn't watched it yet. I'm a giant DC geek. Don has no frame of reference outside of what comes across our newsfeed and what we complain about on Bounding Live. So it should be pretty cool. I see we have some people in the chat. What's up, Lopter, Merkyle, the evolved form of Lopter, as John likes to put it, and Deviant Porg, hashtag release the Weasel cut. Absolutely. We should put Weasel into Justice League, Batman versus Superman, everything. So off of that, I guess let's just jump right into it. Let's jump into the trailer. We're going to do things a little differently this time. So I'm going to be able to actually play the trailer directly from the stream. So everybody's going to be able to watch normally. Don and I will be able to watch on our end. And then once it's over, we can all come back and discuss. So yeah, thanks for joining us. And let's take a look at the first Red Band trailer for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
Red Band, viewer discretion advised.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
It's coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head. We don't leave one of our own behind.
Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business, Colonel. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire.
3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What?
We're here to save you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Blood sport.
You know the deal. Successfully complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence. Times are hard. You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
So this is the famous Suicide Squad.
Num.
Any questions?
And
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
we're all gonna die.
I hope so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Here's the deal. We fail the mission, you die.
If we find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
If you cough without covering your mouth.
Harley, although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
What's the plan?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
Don't you worry, eh? I'm gonna get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
Oh my God! We've got a freaking kaiju up in this shit!
Uh-huh.
We love the rain. Like angels are splooching all over us.
All right, that was the first trailer. Don, initial thoughts? Don. Oh, Don doesn't have a mic connect. Oh, there he is. Don. All right. Well, I guess Don's having a little bit of technical trouble right now, but I'll give my thoughts. I am torn, actually. I'm half really excited and half kind of like what's going on here. I really liked all the action scenes. I liked the King Shark ripping that guy in half. I loved that shot of Harley kind of spinning around with her guns. I'm not that big of a fan of the sort of humor. It does feel really forced, particularly that scene in the beginning with Harley, the eat a bag of dicks thing from Peacemaker, and again, the Harley joke at the end. But that's because it felt a little too LOL random to me. Don, I see the mic mute button coming on and off. Are we back? Hope so. All right. So let's see. Speechless says E going 74. Yeah, it is actually speechless, or it can leave you speechless, especially when you remember the last movie. Like, to me, guys, Suicide Squad 1 is the worst movie of all time because it just feels completely forced. It feels like what's the word? Like it was produced on a factory line. Like there's no passion going into it. Oh, Don's back.
Yeah. So yeah, I have no idea what's going on with this. Frame of reference. The purpose of the trailer is to introduce the audience to a new thing. It's to introduce the story. It's to introduce characters. The first trailer for the first Suicide Squad at least tried to introduce us to characters that we weren't familiar with. And they had that little, everybody that's in the movie, not familiar with any of these characters. This is the problem with the DC universe. They want to just throw everything in without giving any of these guys like their own solo time or like cameos in another film that's a bigger franchise. And so it's harder to get into what these guys are about without that reference, without that history behind the character. So when some of these guys die, we're not really, not really attached to them. We don't have any emotional weight to those characters. I think I like doing this without a camera because I'm able to formulate better thoughts. But, it's just storytelling. Want to build these characters up so that when they die, we have emotional resonance with them. And then, as a Suicide Squad, all destined to die, and you don't feel anything for it.
No, you definitely don't. Did you ever see the first one?
I watched it when the swirling garbage started happening. I was just like, okay,
it's so bad. But they have that scene in the very beginning of that movie where they do exactly that. They have like I forget, what is his name? It's like Ripcord or something. He's like, oh, I'm part of the squad. I don't want to do this. And he like Spider-Man webbed or like shoots off with a grappling hook and then his head explodes. But there's no sort of like, why do I care? It just,
right.
You're totally right. The only characters that have any sort of emotional connection are the ones from the last film. And I think outside of Harley, does anybody really care if any of the other ones die from that movie? So let's see. What do we got from the chat? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Boomerang was in there with you have resonance with him. Harley. I mean, who else is reappearing?
Rick Flag. It's literally those three. It's Rick Flag, Harley, and Boomerang.
So no Diablo, no Crocodile, Killer Croc.
No Killer Croc. No Katana. No Deadshot. No. Yeah, I think that's it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, and Amanda Waller, of course.
Oh, of course.
So let's see. Initial reactions from the chat. Let's see what's going on with you guys. Let's see. Come on, they're reacting internally. The point is to guess what they felt. Are you talking about not having any connection with the characters, Alex? Because I completely agree.
For not having connection to my mic.
Deviant Pork says Starro means maybe a Jarro someday, and that's cool. Yeah, I'm excited to actually for Starro to be the villain, because classic DC villain, you can do a lot of fun with it since you plant them on your face and it takes over your mind. And yeah, definitely Pork. Like, just take one of those at the very end of the movie, throw it into a jar. You've got Jarro from here on out. I am betting that after this movie comes out, this Halloween, the easy Halloween costume will be a Starro thing. Like, just strap one on your face and you've got your Halloween costume. Roof Korean. So this is interesting, Don, and I want to get your thoughts on this because you just wrote about this. Roof Korean is saying it seems that the Gunn humor, like I was talking about from Harley and from John Cena, is taking jabs at various groups that took him out years ago. Did you get that feeling?
I did not, really. A lot of the humor it just flew over my head because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I didn't get the line, to be honest. Yeah, watch it again, just to hear what was being said. But yeah, no.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that, Roof Korean, but it felt more to me. I can see your argument, but it also felt more to me like the very forced humor. You got a little bit of that in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where they started playing up like how dumb Star-Lord was, or Gamora's like apprehensiveness. So I don't know. I'm open to seeing more of those jokes, but for me, the sort of toilet humor about a beach and a bag of, like a beach full of penises, and then God doing his business on us in the rain. Those are the kind of jokes I remember making when I was like in 7th grade. So I don't know how much they resonate with R-rated viewers these days. Lopter says El Diablo was killed in Suicide Squad. I don't remember that. I remember him lighting up like for that big explosion at the end, but I don't remember him dying. But then again, there's not a lot worth remembering in that movie. Yeah, exactly. Roof Korean Angels. I don't know if John wants me to corrupt the stream entirely, so I don't know if I'll get into that word. But yeah, so we have this sequel with characters that we really have no connection to, and it looks good, at least for me. I'm excited to see the action. I'm not really vibing with the humor. Don, is there any character that you are particularly excited for from that trailer to see on screen?
The Weasel looks weird. I'm always excited to see David Dastmalchian, and I think a lot of the trailer was banking, or a lot of this was banking on the star power being put on the screen. You got David Dastmalchian, you got John Cena, you got Stallone. Stallone's gonna be in it.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know what. That's how closely I follow the DC universe.
He's not listed yet. Even on all the like IMDb, he doesn't have a character yet.
Oh, so yeah, I'm kind of interested in seeing how much of these stars will contribute.
Oh wait, never mind. They updated it. Sylvester Stallone is King Shark.
What?
Yeah, apparently, I guess he's the voice for King Shark. Wow.
I thought that was Taika.
I thought so too. Maybe Taika. Did they change it? Now, okay, so on IMDb now, Sylvester Stallone is listed as King Shark's voice, but Taika doesn't have a role. He's just listed on there. Maybe Taika plays like Starro or something later on. Maybe they bait and switched us, because you're definitely right. They did say Taika was King Shark.
I don't know if Taika was listed as King Shark, but I know that was the speculation going around.
Oh, you're right. It was speculation. Yeah. So yeah, maybe that's how it goes. Maybe it's Watiti or Taika is Starro and Sylvester is King Shark. That's still ridiculous.
I mean, Sylvester Stallone in a voice acting role.
It's not exactly the strongest. Yeah, exactly. It's like I like Sylvester Stallone, but you really cannot understand that man half the time he talks, or more than half the time. Like 80% of the time he talks. Like in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I had no idea what his character was doing the entire time.
Yeah, he did not make a good Ogord. Yeah. But okay, so I saw in that reading setting, I saw a lot of the trauma roots.
Yeah.
Just ripping King Shark ripping a guy in half. I was expecting the eating of guys to be more gory.
Right.
They did throw in a lot of language in there. We might get fired for it. But yeah, it's just like, okay, so I see James Gunn's trauma roots in this. He's probably reveling in it, but in terms of like greater appeal to how artistically you can use an R rating to tell a story, I don't think it's going to be it's going to be a gore fest, but not a creative gore fest.
Not like
it's not going to be like Braveheart levels of
right. It's going to be very much. I definitely see what you're saying by the trauma roots, and I definitely agree. I think it's going to be a lot of that shock humor, or not shock humor, but like that shock gore, like we saw with the ripping in half. There will probably be a pretty bloody gunfight. Probably somebody gets punched really hard and bloody, and I think that also links into the humor. He's very much going for that. I don't want to say juvenile, but very like trauma level writing. So very amateur-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I definitely see that. I kind of hope he does play with it a lot though. Like I would love to see an R-rated Weasel scene. If that's what we're gonna get with King Shark, I want to see Weasel scratching somebody up, ripping them apart, just going crazy. And apparently Weasel is controlled by Scooby Snacks. I don't know if you guys caught that in the poster that we used for the featured image, but he's like surrounded by dog treats. So I'm excited to see what that could be all about.
Yeah. I see the chat, so I don't know what everybody's saying, but yeah,
we've got let's see. Deviant Porg is saying that he recognized Stallone directly, which is impressive because I definitely didn't. Roof Korean is saying Taika probably did the motion capture for King Shark, and then Stallone did the voice, which would make complete sense to me. Didn't Taika do motion capture on Ragnarok?
Yeah, he did the motion capture, but the problem is when you do motion capture, you usually get to capture the character that's doing the voice as well, so you can emote what's going on.
Yeah, so that it like all goes together.
Like Thanos, the voice actor for Thanos was Josh Brolin, but he also did the motion capture Thanos. So they go hand in hand. Benedict Cumberbatch, he did the voice acting for the dragon and the Hobbit, but he also
Andy Serkis in the Hobbit. Yeah.
So
no, I definitely get that.
There is sorrow.
There is that incongruence. I definitely know what you're talking about, where one person acts it out and the other person has to try and put their voice onto that acting, and it just never lines up, which is why people try to avoid doing that.
So yeah, be Starro.
And then Deviant Porg is saying, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it was really for the old fans like me who knew the first team of Guardians. Definitely that's definitely why he was there. I'm just saying I couldn't understand him at all. Like I had no idea. I knew he wasn't like integral to the plot, but you just cannot understand the man when he talks.
It's like a nod. So if anybody saw the last the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we thought there was going to be this part for Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
It was just like small nod, like, okay, yeah, we acknowledge that this existed in the comics. Let's move on.
Oh wow, really? Like
Yeah,
they're doing the WandaVision thing again.
It's not integral. Like, you could have cut that part out and it wouldn't have affected the story. It's just a no.
That's disappointing. I am not hearing. I know that this is turning into a side conversation on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I have not heard great things about it, and nobody's talking about it.
I mean, it's a better episode, but it's you know. But then again, it ties into what we're seeing today with the trailer. Get to see little nods.
Right.
Little nods to the comic book fans in what we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. You might see this in this trailer, like nods, but then just nods to the comic book fans.
Right. You're totally right. The comics are only getting nods now, or tiny little references here and there, and then they're just trying to create almost a separate like property library in the movies so that they can play around with whatever. It's kind of like the Disney and Star Wars thing, how they take from the now non-canon EU and put it into their Disney canon because they're lazy.
Okay, now they find Harley Quinn with a spear.
Yes.
And in the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, I've seen that, but Diana is looking at a spear that's on the ground.
Oh, really?
And that's somewhat integral to what the plot's going on. Darkseid is using a spear when he is in his oops form. And I guess when he strikes the ground with that spear, he finds the anti-life equation.
Oh, wow.
So is that
I haven't seen it
spear?
yet, but wow. Dude, that would be
that
cool.
The same spear?
Well, I would be really impressed if they pulled that off.
People are speculating the Spear of Destiny.
Yeah, the classic item. For those who don't know, the Spear of Destiny is the spear that pierced Jesus' side when he was on the cross. And in DC, it has its history. It was where it was used by Hitler during World War II to sort of keep the heroes out of the war. It's kind of like their Deus Ex Machina to explain why Superman didn't just fry him.
Yeah, the only time I've seen that spear is like in that old series Roar. Remember the series with the Heath Ledger? With the big ass sword, and then the Spear of Destiny was the only thing that could kill one of the immortals, who was the main antagonist for the show. And that
was like his main weapon, and it was all like it had like that really shiny metal tip that like glowed red sometimes. Yeah.
So that bringing us back to the 90s. But great show. That's the only time I've ever seen that. Use that spear again. That's kind of a like tie in that thing, because that's like Christian teaching. Is the DC thing too? Was that in the old comics?
Yeah, no, the Spear of Destiny was in the old comics. It is a comic item, so it could exist. To me, the big issue is if it exists, that means they're acknowledging the Snyderverse again, and Christianity. Yeah, I mean, oh man, they probably, if it is the Spear of Destiny, they'll probably take away the Christian origins. I almost guarantee it. I guarantee it'll just be some space spear. You're totally right. I didn't even think about that. But yeah,
the spear that Christ got pierced with. Okay. Let's bring that into a mainstream. No,
dude. They'll turn it into like the spear that, I don't know, pierced Hillary Clinton or something. You know how they roll with this.
Oh wow.
the pencil that put the last vote for Donald Trump in 2016 is going to be the new Spear of Destiny. But my concern is that if it is the Sphere of Destiny from Justice League that not Thanos, that Darkseid used, then they're going to acknowledge the Snyderverse. And after this week, where what's her name, Ann Sarnoff was just basically like, nope, it's gone, we're done, we hate you. It's just going to be weird and more problems. And I think it speaks to exactly what you were talking about at the very beginning, Don, which is DC doesn't really have a plan. They've never really had a plan. They get one-off successes like Wonder Woman, and then this is looking to be a success, but then they never know what they're trying to do with it.
So I'll see it out of interest, but I'm not 100%. I'm maybe like 50%. Like, okay.
Yeah,
50% hype.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't think I'm not going to act like some people do with The Mandalorian and say that the Suicide Squad has saved DC, but I'm kind of there with you. I'm excited to see it, but I'm also, it's kind of like, I'm down to go out to this party with you guys and drink some tequila, but I still remember the last time I drank tequila and it was bad. So let's see if I'll be open to it, because Suicide Squad 1 is bad.
No, I mean, let me clarify. I know the Suicide Squad was bad. This looked to be better.
Yes.
I'm familiar with this character, this director and what he can do. I liked I actually liked the Guardians film.
Oh yeah, me too. Love him.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with what he can do, and I'm banking on his ability to do that with this film as well. I don't think Warner likes to lose all their money. But there's also this hesitation of what kind of resonance are these characters going to have with me? What kind of, is this going to be a one-off, or is this going to be a thing that's going to continue? What's the plan? What's the overall plan for having the audience continue with you on the journey that DC can do? And unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be a continuance of that journey. I think it's like, let's just throw this out there, and that's a problem. You want to have an audience that stays with you for long haul, and I don't see the long haul here.
No way. I think you just hit the nail on the head. That's perfect. I don't think there will be a sequel to this, but that is the problem, because whether there is or there isn't, DC doesn't know how to handle that. Like, if there is no more sequel, then do they just keep making random one-off films with Harley and Peacemaker and King Shark that don't have any relation to anything? Or if it does get a sequel, well, then does this play into our overall cinematic universe at all? It's kind of what we've always said, is that DC never really was ready for anything. They were too focused on like, oh, a cinematic universe can make us money. I want one of those. And they never really sat down and like mapped it out.
Right.
Toxic Man Flu says, what's up?
No.
Toxic Man Flu is saying Suicide Squad is the best thing ever put on film. Leslie Nielsen is a comedic genius. Oops, sorry, that's Police Squad. Dude, I love Police Squad. Those movies are great. Roof Korean says, what's the plan, WB? And Sarnoff is Admiral Holdo. Let's see. Is she Admiral Holdo, or is she more? I'd say she's more Leia. Remember when Leia in The Last Jedi was like, listen to my commands. These are my orders. You're going to listen to her. I'm the general. That's what I feel like Ann Sarnoff is. I feel Ava DuVernay is the Admiral Holdo of WB
this is
right
Kathleen Kennedy 2.0.
Yes.
No plan.
And Ann Sarnoff is WB's Kathleen Kennedy. I don't think we can put it in any simpler terms. And then Toxic Man Flu has a question for you, Don. So, Don, are you saying you want an audience to stay with you forever? So, cinematic herpes?
I mean, as long as they're paying the hospital bills, that's fine.
You know what? That is fair. But I will mention that for cinematic herpes, I think the best example would be the Fast and the Furious films. Those things
Oh,
are
God.
never going away. And then
Well, they canceled Gina Carano, so
oh yeah, they canceled Gina Carano. Hopefully she comes back in some capacity. I mean, she's got the Daily Wire movie coming up, and then who knows how she'll go from there. But yeah, I think that's all we really have to say on the Suicide Squad. We're both in to see it. It's got things that interest us and other things that worry us, mostly interested by how everything looks. I know I'm interested in the action scenes, and Dawn is interested to see how James Gunn plays us all out. And then we're not really excited for the fact that, again, it's a Suicide Squad with no established characters. And so how are we supposed to almost care for them? How will they fit that all in the one movie? And then, what's the future? What does the future hold? But I think, do you have any last words, Don? Do you have any last thoughts on Suicide Squad?
Nope. Just curious. Not quite hyped, but curious, interested. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. Hey, Curious is probably the best DC films can hope for at this point after all the crap that they went through. But yeah, so thanks, guys. This was a cool little test stream we wanted to try out. Maybe we'll do more trailer watches, more announcement watches with you guys in the future. We will not have our review stream later today because John is out of the office. So enjoy your weekend, take a break, and I guess both of us will see you on Tuesday, hopefully, for our Daily Stupid stream. And that's right, Sunday we will be on Drew Taylor's channel, The Supreme Heretic, to discuss all this crazy how the media is using Asians for their agendas and all of the AAPI hate stuff. So catch me and Don over there on Sunday night. I'm sure you'll hear more from both of us on both of our Twitters. And then Tuesday back here for our new Daily Stupid stream. And then Wednesday, join us back here for Bounding Live. And with that, I think that's it for today, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, guys. See you in a bit.
Take it easy.